The following is a sample interview recorded for PrivateEquity.com radio and the Certified Private Equity Professional CPEP Certificate Program. To download the full interview and unlock other benefits for private equity professionals, become a Platinum member of PrivateEquity.com.
Today we have with us Susan Hagerty, Chairman of International Alliance Associates, a private equity placement agent and cross-border strategic advisory firm. Thank you for joining us, and welcome, Susan.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you very much.
We appreciate having you on. Can you please briefly describe your position now? What do you do in private equity?
So, as you mentioned, our firm is really a cross-border private equity advisory and placement firm, and we focus primarily on emerging markets that are very robust and quite challenging and opaque, but that have very unique opportunities for private equity placement and positioning of portfolio companies, their value propositions, that is, on a cross-border basis into these emerging markets, such as the Gulf Cooperation Council countries, known as the GCC, and that includes Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Qatar, UAE, Bahrain, and Oman.
Okay. Well, that's a really specific offering.
Well, and also Latin America and Mexico.
Sure.
We've been in these regions since the mid-'80s when I was an executive at Lehman Brothers, raising money for LBO funds and so forth.
It leads into my next question, which was, what was your professional experience prior to your placement in advisory work at International Alliance? It sounds like Lehman Brothers, but did you work in any other areas of related to private equity, or anything that led you specifically to the Middle East and these target markets?
Well, my experience with the Middle East dates back to actually having lived there when I was very young, and then studying Arabic formally at the university, and the same is true of my experience throughout Latin America and Mexico, learning to speak Spanish and Portuguese.
Okay, well, that makes a lot of sense then, that you were able to use that in the professional capacity. That's great. Okay, well, that gives us an idea about some of your background. We can talk a little bit more about what you guys do at International Alliance. So how do you decide what managers or investment opportunities to raise capital for and take on as clients?
So we vet our clients very carefully, and we try to assure that there's an alignment of interest in terms of the verticals that they're involved with and the investment criteria that the bulk of our investors throughout these regions have, and that would include sovereign wealth funds, quasi-sovereigns, pension funds, royal family offices, investment banks, private equity firms, foundations, insurance companies, and so forth. Okay.
And have you seen pretty large growth in sovereign wealth funds? I know that's kind of what we've seen on our end, and also family offices, but it sounds like you're focused more on the royal and country-specific ones. So how have you seen that sovereign wealth industry develop?
So the private equity industry throughout these emerging markets has expanded dramatically over the past 8 years or so. A lot of private equity firms have cropped up all over the Gulf countries, and there are also a lot of private equity entities within some of the larger banking and financial institutions now. So it's an asset category that has evolved dramatically. I would just say that the trend has been to allocate less to private equity funds and more to co-invests and direct transactions.
We hope you enjoyed the sample interview. To listen to the full interview and other private equity interviews, become a Platinum member at PrivateEquity.com or join the Certified Private Equity Professional CPEP Certificate Program. Platinum members enjoy great benefits like weekly private equity newsletters, access to networking events, webinars, interviews, and more. Visit PrivateEquity.com/association for a free 2-week trial of Platinum membership.